You're with you're with Trump. You're with Julian on the brown note, and Trump versus Musk, a battle for the ages. Who will win, and why is it happening? It's not as straightforward as it looks. So look, Elon Musk has spent an inordinate amount of time, possibly in a ketamine binge, I would say, abusing Mr. Trump on Twitter. So that was worth $40 billion right there. And we all knew it was going to happen. You put two narcissistic sociopaths in a room together who both want to be king. And I posted on this channel 6 months ago that it would last 6 months and that Trump would use him up and spit him out, leaving Musk with absolutely nothing. Because he's lost the other side already, and now he's lost the MAGA side. So who does he have now as friends? Not very many, it would seem. We all knew that their love affair would end, and that, Trump has a lifelong history of using people and spitting them out. So it was inevitable that it would happen. And Musk is coming out with some big guns, saying that Trump won't release the Epstein files because he's one of the major players, which we all knew. Everyone knew that Donald Trump was one of the main people in that sphere of sex offence and paedophilia that was Epstein's Island. Everyone knew that as well. And his own supporters don't even care that he's a massive pedo. So, like everyone else, it's just like, well, this is beautiful. It's the funniest day in history. You've got all these MAGA lining up saying that they're going to buy Teslas, and perhaps not today. But so, why did Elon Musk do this? Now, we knew they would have a massive breakup, but with Tesla tanking as badly as it already was, it would seem that Elon Musk was going to be a massive beneficiary of the enormous corruption of the Trump administration, where they're, raising tariffs one day and dropping them the next, all accidentally making several $100 million on stock prices, throwing up crypto, and of course all of these lovely juicy contracts of which you thought that Elon Musk was going to be a major recipient of, particularly with something like SpaceX and God knows what else. So why would he cut himself off like this at this particular moment? So this is my theory about why this has happened now. Trump has a lifelong history of cutting people off completely at the knees and destroying them afterwards, after he's finished using them. He's done it his whole life, even to his close confidants. Look at Michael Cohen. They all get trashed eventually. I wonder whether the story that did the news media last week about Elon Musk and his devastating addiction to ketamine and MDMA to the extent of causing him bladder problems was perhaps a preemptive leak by Trump's people. And I'm wondering whether this is retribution from Elon Musk. Now, I said at the time, 6 months ago, Trump will use Elon Musk for his hundreds of millions of dollars in campaign funding, which he's done, but also for something like Doge, a wildly unpopular and deeply failed policy. He started off saying $2 trillion will be saved, then $1 trillion, then $136 billion, and then in the end it was something like $40 billion. And it probably isn't once you check through and see how much it cost. It probably costs the government a ton. And on the other side, you've got $3 trillion worth of debt that Trump is going to add to the deficit. So the idea that he's saving money is just ridiculous. But it was so unpopular that Republicans can't even hold town hall meetings with their own constituents who have been affected by Doge. So Trump can get away with blaming that whole thing on Musk. That's how he operates. He always does it. I wonder whether Musk over the last 12 hours has been in another binge on ketamine and MDMA. It would seem that a lot of his really rash pronouncements on Twitter seem to be when he's in some kind of mania. So I'm wondering if that's where it's come from. But I genuinely believe that he's probably reacting to all of the stories that came out of him about him and his drug use, and maybe that they've come from the Trump family side. Plus, Elon Musk's judgment is terrible. You know, he's like an almost accidental billionaire. He's made some very, very good choices when it came to PayPal or whatever he used to own, and obviously with Tesla initially. But he's since shown appalling judgment many times in the stuff that he said online and the bets that he's placed. And I've listed, you know, how it might end up being the most expensive deal in history for him to have sided with Trump so much. And that's still on the cards, because he could have shifted his whole business model away from Tesla and into stuff like SpaceX and government contracts. And that doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's a very bad move financially. And he won't win his old fans back by doing this either. Once you piss off the left, he's shown to be a charlatan when it comes to moral values and consistency on topics. So he's not going to win back the left by, you know, trashing Trump. And he's going to lose all of the right. And he's probably still going to double down on being populist right as well. So it's a very, very bad decision for him to do. And the other question, apart from why now, which I said is, you know, he's maybe paying back for what happened to him last week, and also he's got terrible judgment, and also he seems to be a massive drug addict that fires off this kind of stuff when he's in some delusional state. And that seems to be it. But who will win? The world's richest man or Donald Trump? There is only one answer there. Elon Musk is a naive businessman that has risen to being the richest man in the world. He doesn't have anything like Donald Trump's legacy. Donald Trump is a rolled gold, massively criminal mafia boss. He has connections across the landscape. I was reading about a Russian gangster the other day. This Russian gangster, one of the top people in the Russian mob, operated out of a club in New York, co-owned by Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer. Trump has connections up the wazoo, and he's been in court 400 times plus. This guy doesn't mess around. He's a ruthless crime boss. He's a massively criminal crime boss. He is going to eat Elon Musk for breakfast, and we've seen that he is Teflon Don when it comes to, you know, if they do eventually out him as being one of the main players on Epstein Island, his cult don't care. We already know that he's massively involved in all of that. He was accused of molesting 25 women. They don't care. A judge called him a rapist last year. They don't care. So there isn't really any mud that can stick to Trump. The only thing that Trump can do is introduce gun legislation or something to turn MAGA off, which he's not going to do. He's the first time in his life he's actually making billions of dollars now that he's been elected president, and he's fleecing the country dry. But he is hard as hell. No one has managed to take him down. He knows people, he's connected with people, and if Epstein was out there unexplainably making hundreds of millions of dollars, likely through blackmailing lots of people, who's to say what Donald has? He might be the victim of a bit of blackmail, but he might also be someone that's in a possession of a lot of knowledge that people don't want out there. So there's only one winner here, the Rottweiler that is Donald Trump, who's probably dismissively laughing at all of this. Musk has got nowhere to go now.